Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to talk about just a topic that's very dear and near to my heart, and that is, why being average hurts so much in life. Like, why it feels like purgatory. I don't know if you guys have felt this way before, but there's sometimes where you just in life you feel stuck. You just kind of look around and you're like, fuck, man, like, I don't have a girlfriend. I'm stuck going to school, fucking either you know whether you're going to school, working shitty jobs, just living a life that you don't really desire or care for, um which sometimes can lead to bad thoughts. But not to get too deep there. uh it's just sometimes just being average sucks, and you might not be doing bad, like necessarily bad, but you still feel like you're kind of in the middle of the pack, and a lot of people can't seem to find their way out of that. And it's one thing I'm specifically trying to be better at, is to not be average. So yeah, as I usually do, I got a few points that I want to talk about. And the first reason being average sucks is that it, it's easy to be comfortable, right? If you have an average life, you go to school, you might go to the gym, and yeah, I'll talk about the gym a little bit later on in this video, but man, sometimes it's easy to just stay where you are because it's just you don't really need to change, like, necessarily. You might have maybe an average chick, and maybe I'm just bitter because I don't even have a chick, but like, I don't want to just have an average chick, you know. Like, I want chicks to, that chicks that I'm with to, be good looking, and that's not even like, I'm not trying to be red pill or misogynist or fucking whatever, right? It's just the truth. Like, as a man, you want to have. I don't want to have a fat chick next to me. And me personally, like, I'm not the fittest guy out there, but I'm working towards that. So if you're average, odds are you're gonna get an average chick, and I don't want that. So I'm working towards a better me, and that's I feel like a lot of the reasons why men do self improvement is for women, but you need to get yourself to a point where you're happy with your own life, and the self improvement and going to the gym and starting your own business, making money. All these things are gonna help you kind of get yourself out of that average, you know, percentile range, right? And that's my goal. That's one of my main goal. And sometimes it's hard to do when the bills might be paid, your grades are pretty okay, your health is pretty good. Like I said, you might go to the gym, but you might not try hard enough for it. Um, and I've definitely been there. There's times where I've been stuck going to the gym and seeing no progress because you don't try hard enough. So tell yourself that you want to change things, right? A lot of people keep procrastinating, saying, I'll lock in later. I mean, it's tough to lock in later because you just kind of keep pushing it back. You kind of just got to take action off the bat. Number two, being average gives you no identity. And this is something that I've noticed with a lot of people. Like, you ever just talk to someone, especially being in college, I feel like there's a lot of NPC type of kids where you just talk to them and it's just so boring. It's like so generic in a way. Sometimes you're just not known for anything. You're just a regular old average Joe. And that sometimes is not a bad thing, right? But other times you just want someone with a little more spice. If that's weird to say, but something that's going to add more to your life. And sometimes people that are average don't really have anything to add to your life. They're just kind of there, other than, maybe some companionship. But even then, you want someone that's awesome in your life. Um, Number three, nowadays, I mean, especially in dating, I don't want to focus too much in dating, but it is another topic that's very near and dear to my heart. Like sometimes, man, I mean, you guys know how it is nowadays with dating, but just being an average guy, especially in dating apps, you're not gonna get any attention. And even just walking around, sometimes you're just straight invisible. And that's why you need to be, once again, in the gym, trying to, become the best version of yourself so that you don't get overlooked. And however, odds are you probably will get overlooked on dating apps. But yeah, that's just me being better. But at least do what you can to make the situation better, right? Like, we already know what it is. We know we're most likely not going to find a girlfriend on a dating app. Uh, and it's tough out there in real life as well, but build yourself up to where you can get to that point where you're confident in yourself, and then the attraction will come slowly. And that's kind of what I'm working towards. I'm not quite there yet. Number 4, it creates kind of a weird cognitive dissonance. You're kind of like, that you are destined for more, to say the least. You you know that you're frustrated because you're not reaching your full potential. You don't hate yourself, but you also don't really respect yourself. So being more disciplined, going to the gym, and being that better man is going to help out a lot with that. Number 5, and we're getting close to the end of my points here, but another reason it hurts is you just feel like an option constantly. And this happened in my personal relationship. Towards the end, I definitely, you know, I could sense that she was talking to another guy. I could sense that I was going to get replaced pretty soon. And back then, I'll be honest, I did let myself go, which is another reason. And this is a topic for another video, but you can't get comfortable where you are. You need to always keep pushing for more. Uh, yeah, man, you feel optional, even at work. Sometimes, if you're average at work, you're literally like the hottest candidate to get laid off. So you really need to be exceptional at something, at least. Try to be good at something. Even if you fail, most people fail anyways, so just try. Finally, it just you keep wasting time when you're average. It's hard to do things, but when you get older, you're gonna be thinking, could I have done more? And I feel like that's one of my fears. And I don't want to be, first of all, I don't want to die single, because I feel like that's a lot of men nowadays are starting to become more and more single. So that's one thing. But I also just want to live a life that fulfilled me. And being average isn't going to be that. So yeah, all in all, as I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody or anything, but like, me as literally, I'm an average guy talking right now. Like, I got a little bit of fat on me. I'm still trying to make it trading, and trading is one of my ways that I want to make it out of this, financial, the average mean of financial capacity in America, I guess. A lot of people making 50K a year. I don't even making 50K a year. I'm only making 50K a month, right? But yeah, that's just a few of my points. I want to be the best man I can be. And just being average hurts. It's just comfortable. You feel invisible. Sometimes you feel invisible to employers. Like, literally, if you're average, if your resume is average, and I know I've said the word average so many times, but literally, if your resume is average, you're not gonna get hired. because there's always going to be that one guy that's actually the stand-up that's going to get hired. So just keep working and come up with something that's going to make you unique. You know, make you. Anyways, guys, that was my little rant of why I hate being average and why I'm working towards not being average anymore. So, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. Join my training Discord. I'm gonna leave it a link in the description. Anyways, cheers, fellas. Have a good night.